What's going on, everybody? I just want to showcase girl_gone_golden right here on Instagram. This lovely queen shows photography and interviews. She mostly focuses on American descendants of slavery. And each photograph that we see here, it not only shows depictions of turmoil and pain and trauma that we have really went through in this country. She also focuses on the elegance, on the beautiful side that is of our ancestors. I thanked her for showcasing African spirituality and the light, because hoodoo and root work is all about venerating ancestors, and for the articles to be able to focus and highlight the actual experiences that these wonderful people have went through is absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna need y'all to take a look at her page. It is Black History Month, okay? And if you want somebody who's 365 with it, y'all go ahead and check Girl Gone Golden. You know how you call into the radio station and you request a song from the DJ? Yeah, I felt like that's what happened right here with this one. She decided to showcase Caroline Dye. So let's go ahead and talk about her for a minute. Aunt Caroline Dye, aka Caroline Tracy Dye, was a famous, highly respected hoodoo woman, a two-headed doctor in the early 1900s. The fact that she was an uneducated black woman was one reason she was very popular and highly recognized in Arkansas and the Mid-South. The names of her parents are unknown. Her birth and death will be totally up to who you believe. Y'all know I always tell you to go with what the ancestors say first. Her obituary in 1918 said that she was 18 years old when the Civil War started, which would make her birthday year 1843. There was a census in 1880 that put her at 27 years old. However, when she passed away, her tombstone read that in 1918 she was 108 years old, which would make her birth year 1810. Some believe she died in 1944. She was born enslaved in Spartanburg, South Carolina, born shortly after her parents' old master's death. His name was William Tracy, and his widow, Nancy Tracy, took her slaves and moved with family to Arkansas. Caroline Tracy had her daughter Hannah before the death of her missus in 1861. All of those enslaved by Nancy Tracy remained property of the Tracy estate until their freedom after the Civil War. Caroline realized that she had supernatural abilities as a child. She was able to see things that others could not. One example, Caroline predicted the visit of a member of the Tracy family that was presumed dead early on in the war. She moved to Elgin and married Martin Dye, June 16, 1867. They had a baby girl, Mary, who died at 11 months. They raised several children who were not their own. When she moved to Newport is when her popularity began to grow. She never said she was a fortune teller, but that's what people called her. Dye reportedly only used a deck of cards to help her concentration and would not give readings about love or the outcome of World War I. She did, however, tell many people the location of strayed or stolen livestock, sometimes giving specific directions, and she helped people locate missing jewelry. She gave visions of the future for her clients and offered advice on missing persons. In one case, she was consulted of the guilt of a man arrested for assault near Austin, Lonoke County. She enjoyed confronting skeptics before they uttered a word, and many times told them of situations about themselves that she could not have previously known. It was said that she even predicted Newport's future Great Fire of 1926, which wiped out a large part of the town some 8 years after her death. Despite the fact that Caroline Dye was born a slave and illiterate, reportedly not even able to write her own name, she was a thriving businesswoman. She had a steady flow of cash coming in and is said to have invested in real estate and owned 8 farms. Newport has a 400-mile radius, and they all knew about Aunt Caroline. She was just as well known as the president. She had many clients from the Mid-South, but her following in Memphis, Tennessee was very strong. So many came to visit her in Newport from Memphis. That local train route was called the Caroline Dye Special. Her clients were white and black. Most of her clients showed their appreciation by giving her a few dollars for a reading, but she didn't require a payment. Caroline Dye said that she received 20 to 30 letters per day, and most of them had money attached for her services. It was said that some prominent white businessmen of Jackson County would not make important decisions before consulting her. All day long, people crowded into her home in Newport waiting for a reading. She took advantage of the large number of visitors and sold meals from her house. Aunt Caroline Dyer Blues by Will Shade said this about her. Aunt Caroline Dyer was a fortune-telling woman, two-headed woman. She'd call you, she'd fix you, so you better come. She didn't have to come to fetch you. That's the kind of woman she was. Had that much power before she died. White and colored would go to her. You sick in bed? She raised the sick. Conjure, hoodoo. That's what some people say, but that's what you call it. Conjure. Yeah, she could make a hand so you could win anybody's money. Take her hand with you, win everybody's money with that spell. Had that much brains. Smart lady. She break up all kinds of spells you had. She could have you walking like a hog, any kind of which way. She could make you walk on two legs again. That's the kind of woman she was. Aunt Caroline Dye, she was the worst woman in the world. Had that much sense. Seven Sisters ain't nowhere with Aunt Caroline Dye. She was the onlyest one could break the record with the hoodoo. Shade describes a type of cure that Dye specialized in. That of taking off jinxes and tricks that have victims going crazy, crawling on all fours, walking like a hog, and howling like a dog. As we shall shortly see, he is not the only person who attested to her power in this regard. Her obituary states Caroline had accumulated $100,000. That sum included money, city property, farms, Liberty bonds, and war saving stamps. The average black person of the time had great reverence for her, and they thought she had a gift. They believed she could heal the sick. She had an angelic disposition and was known to be kind and charitable. When her attorney went to her home after her death to settle her affairs, it was discovered there was money hidden all over her home. They located money in the sum of $12,000. $3,500 was in silver dollars. They had to get a vehicle to transport the money to the bank, where she had $8,000 deposited. While she invested in farmland and rental property with the money she earned, she also purchased Liberty loan bonds to support the war effort. In later years, many people searched for the gold that she was purported to have buried around Newport. Once again, thank you so much, Girl Gone Golden, for showcasing ancestors in the most beautiful way, in the most beautiful light. As somebody who is stepping into spirituality, stepping into hoodoo, root work, divination, card reading, and so forth, this especially touched me dearly because my favorite deck that I'm using now has her as the fortune card. That is fortune. Now, fortune can go any which way, good or bad, but I love the fact Aunt Caroline is there because that makes me feel like my hand is gonna be good regardless. All right, y'all, peace and blessings. I'll talk to you later. Bye.